I always knew my parents loved my twin brother more than me. But that night, that was the night they made it clear. I stood there, caught in the middle of a crowd that wasn't mine, watching my twin Zane soak up the spotlight. It was our 18th birthday, his and mine, but you wouldn't know it. Streamers hung from the backyard trees, music pumped from Dad's expensive speakers, and a massive Happy 18th Zane and Lucas banner stretched over the patio. But even that felt like a joke, because this party wasn't for me. It was for him. It was always for him. Zane was the favorite, the son with the easy charm and the golden boy smile. The one who could make a whole room laugh without trying. The one teachers called brilliant, while I was just hard-working. I hovered near the snack table, pretending my Dr. Pepper was a lifeline. People brushed past me, barely noticing I was there. And then, the moment came. The gifts. Dad clapped his hands together. "All right, everyone, gather around." Zane grinned, already knowing he was about to get something big. My chest tightened. Dad pulled out a small, sleek key fob. The crowd exploded with cheers. My stomach dropped as the garage door rumbled open, revealing a gleaming black Mustang GT. The car was insane. Leather seats, polished chrome, an engine that rumbled like thunder. "For our future success story," Dad boomed, clapping Zane on the back. "A car worthy of your bright future," Zane whooped, revving the engine, letting the deep growl shake. The air. I forced my hands to clap, but my palms were cold. I wasn't surprised. Not really. Zane always got the best, the newest Jordans, the coolest tech. And now, a Mustang. Meanwhile, I was working part-time at a grocery store, saving up for community college. The only reason I even had a chance at higher education was because my Grandpa Walter sent me money when he heard about the situation. "Your parents are too busy polishing one apple while letting the other rot," Grandpa always said. Mom hated when he interfered. I almost didn't hear my dad call my name. "Lucas, we didn't forget about you." The crowd turned toward me. Dread churned in my gut. Dad reached behind him and pulled out a small package wrapped in brown paper. I swallowed hard. I peeled back the paper and held up a black leather jacket. It was used. The leather cracked. The sleeves frayed. A faint smell of perfume clung to it. Chanel No. 5, maybe, like an old department store. "You mentioned wanting one," Mom said with a tight smile. "It's vintage. Very trendy." The air shifted. A few awkward glances. Then, Zane's laughter shattered the silence. "Dude, that's gold. You're gonna have girls chasing you like you're a bargain bin Elvis." A few people chuckled, some uncomfortably. My face burned. I tried to laugh, but it came out wrong. I clutched the jacket tighter, its rough texture digging into my fingers. Memories hit me like bricks. Watching Zane unwrap expensive toys while I got books to build character. Hearing Mom say they couldn't afford soccer gear for me while paying for Zane's private tennis lessons. Passing the college fund folder in the kitchen labeled Zane's Education. The jacket felt heavy in my arms. The perfume smell turned my stomach. And my parents? They just smiled, totally oblivious. For everyone else, the moment passed. The party picked back up, people laughing, music blaring, Zane showing off his new car. But for me, it didn't. That night, as the sun set and Zane's Mustang gleamed under the porch lights, I realized something. This wasn't just a birthday. It was a reminder that I was the shadow, the afterthought, the kid who never mattered. But maybe, just maybe, it was time to change that. I woke up the next morning with a heavy weight in my chest. It wasn't exhaustion, not really. More like the sinking feeling you get when you realize nothing's going to change. Zane had probably already taken his new Mustang out for a morning cruise, soaking up the attention from his friends and half the cheer squad. Mom and Dad were likely downstairs, still beaming over how lucky they were to have such an amazing son. And me? I was stuck in the same forgotten corner of my own life. The jacket sat in the corner of my room, the faint scent of perfume and dust still clinging to it. I glared at it. Then, before I could stop myself, I grabbed the thing and threw it across the room. It landed in a crumpled heap, just like how I felt inside. The hours dragged on. I avoided everyone, scrolling through my phone, raiding the fridge for leftover pizza, trying to pretend I didn't care. By noon, boredom got the best of me. I picked up the jacket again, holding it at arm's length like it might infect me with disappointment. The leather was rough, uneven, the stitching frayed in places. Then, something caught my eye. A rough patch on the inside lining. I ran my fingers over it. It felt off. Curious, I tugged at the loose thread. The fabric gave way with an almost satisfying rip. That's when my fingers brushed against something hard. My heart skipped a beat. I reached inside, digging deeper. My hands found several small crumpled rectangles. I pulled them out and stared. Lottery tickets. The paper was worn, the edges soft from being handled too many times. My mind raced through possibilities. Old receipts? Some kind of forgotten note? Smoothed one out and squinted at it. It was a Mega Millions ticket. My stomach flipped. Who the hell hides lottery tickets inside a jacket lining? I inspected the first ticket. The date was from 4 years ago. The numbers had faded, but they were still readable. Nothing remarkable. The second and third tickets were the same. Old, expired, worthless. But the fourth one, something about it made me pause. It looked just as old. Same worn edges, same faded ink. I almost didn't bother checking it. People always joke about finding a winning ticket in the couch cushions. But let's be real. Those stories never happened to guys like me. I was about to toss the tickets onto my desk when I heard footsteps thundering up the stairs. The door flew open. Zane stood in the doorway, grinning like he'd just won a game show. "Dude, come check this out," he shouted, waving his hand wildly. "You've got to see what this baby can really do." He meant the Mustang, of course, his new pride and joy. The tickets slipped from my fingers onto the desk as Zane grabbed my arm, dragging me toward the door. I cast one last glance at the old pieces of paper. The fourth ticket still half-folded. Something about it nagged at me. But then Zane was pulling me outside, and the thought faded away. The rest of the afternoon was spent watching Zane show off. Burnouts in the cul-de-sac, revving the engine for no reason. Letting his friends take turns sitting in the driver's seat like it was some kind of holy relic. I played along, laughed when I was supposed to, but my mind kept drifting back to the jacket, to the hidden tickets. By the time the sun dipped below the rooftops, I was back in my room, my fingers itching to grab the fourth ticket again. I sat at my desk, sipping a soda, staring at it. The paper was curling at the edges, unremarkable, forgettable, but something about it wouldn't let me go. I picked up my phone, Googled the latest Mega Millions results. Just out of curiosity, that's when I saw it. Winning ticket purchased at a small convenience store in town. My breath hitched. I looked down at the ticket again. Same town, same store. My heart started pounding. No way, no freaking way. I scrambled to grab my phone, my fingers shaking as I searched for an online ticket scanner. My hands were clammy as I lined. Up the QR code with my camera. The little square blinked red. For a second I felt stupid. Then it blinked green. A notification popped up. Winning ticket detected. I couldn't breathe. My thumb hovered over the screen. I tapped. The app refreshed, and a number popped up. $61,000? The soda can slipped from my fingers and hit the desk with a soft thud. My knees buckled. I collapsed onto my bed, staring at the ceiling. No, this wasn't real. It couldn't be real. I grabbed my phone again, checked the date, the serial number. Everything matched. The ticket I almost threw away was worth more money than I had ever even imagined. A shaky laugh escaped my lips, half hysterical, half disbelieving. I stared at the numbers on the screen. This was it. This was my way out. But then a new thought hit me, one that sent ice down my spine. No one could know, not Mom, not Dad, especially not Zane. If they found out, they'd take it, use it, waste it. This wasn't just a lottery win, it was a ticking time bomb. And if I wasn't careful, it could all go very, very wrong. My hands shook as I stared at the numbers on my phone screen. $58 million. I read it once, then twice. My brain struggled to process it. This couldn't be real. It had to be some kind of joke, some glitch in the system. But the numbers matched. The old, crumpled lottery ticket that had been hidden inside a thrift store jacket was worth a fortune, and no one knew. Yet, I barely had time to breathe before I heard it. Footsteps, heavy, fast, coming straight from my room. I barely had time to shove the ticket under my pillow before my door burst open. Zane. His face was flushed, his eyes wild with excitement. "Dude!" he practically shouted, holding up his phone. "Did you see this?" I blinked, my heart still hammering in my chest. "See what?" "The news." He shoved his phone in my face. The screen showed a local news article, the headline practically screaming at me. "Winning $58 million ticket purchased locally, winner yet to come forward." I swallowed hard. "Play it cool." Zane dropped onto my bed, completely oblivious to the fact that he was sitting inches from the hidden ticket. "You know how crazy this is," he continued. "Some lucky dude in this crappy town is gonna be rich beyond his wildest dreams. Man, if I had that kind of money, I'd be out of here so fast." I forced a tight smile. "Yeah, wild." He leaned back, sighing. "I swear, if I ever win the lottery, I'm buying a mansion. One of those houses with an infinity pool and, like, a butler, and a garage full of Mustangs." He grinned, eyes practically glowing. "What about you?" I hesitated. What would I say? That I was holding the winning ticket? That in the span of an hour, my life had gone from pathetic to unbelievably complicated? Instead, I shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe move somewhere far away." Zane laughed. "Pfft. What, like Canada? Bro, you'd still be a loser in Canada." My jaw tightened. Zane had no idea. He wouldn't have any idea, because if he or anyone in this family found out about this ticket, they would destroy me. I spent the next few hours in a fog. Every second, my mind raced through what to do next. How do you claim millions of dollars without your family finding out? I grabbed my laptop and searched how to anonymously claim a lottery ticket. Most of the results were horror stories. Winner loses fortune after family drains bank account. Lottery winner bankrupt in 5 years. Family demands financial support. Jackpot curse. How winning the lottery ruined my life. My chest tightened. I scrolled further. Then I found something. A lottery lawyer. A small firm in the city that specialized in helping people claim winnings anonymously. I grabbed my phone, hesitating only for a second before dialing the number. The line rang twice, before a woman's voice answered. "Law offices of Harrison and Myers, how can I help you?" I cleared my throat. Hi. I need legal advice about a lottery ticket." There was a pause. Then her tone shifted. "Are we talking about a significant lottery ticket?" My fingers tightened around my phone. "Yeah, very. Would you like to schedule a consultation?" As soon as possible. The next morning, I borrowed Dad's old Chevy Malibu. It was a clunker. The air conditioner rattled and the seat smelled like stale coffee. But at least no one questioned why I needed it. I drove an hour into the city, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles ached. By the time I walked into the office, my nerves were shot. A receptionist led me to a small, windowless room. A few minutes later, a man in his 40s, sharp suit, salt and pepper hair, walked in. "I'm David Harrison," he said, shaking my hand. "I understand you have a unique situation?" I nodded. "Yeah. I need to claim a ticket without anyone knowing." He sat back, steepling his fingers. "That depends on the state. Some allow anonymous claims through a trust. Have you signed the ticket yet?" My stomach dropped. "Signed the ticket?" "No," I admitted. He nodded. "Good. The moment you sign your name, it becomes public record. What we can do is set up a trust. Your name never appears, only the trust's. The money goes into it and you control it." I exhaled, a weight lifting off my chest. "That's exactly what I need." "Then, let's get started." By the time I left the office, my mind was spinning. The ticket would be filed through the trust within a week. The money would hit the account soon after, and no one, not my parents, not Zane, would know. I drove home in a daze, the reality sinking in. I was about to be a millionaire. Everything was finally going my way. But as I pulled into the driveway, a feeling of unease crept over me. Something was wrong. I stepped inside, and the first thing I noticed was Mom and Dad sitting in the living room, waiting. Zane stood near the window, arms crossed, looking too smug. Mom was clutching her phone. Her face was pale, her hands shaking. My stomach turned. "Lucas," Dad said, his voice dead serious. "We need to talk." My blood ran cold. Zane smirked. I knew that look. He knew something. And I had a very bad feeling that my secret wasn't a secret anymore. I stood frozen in the doorway, my heartbeat thudding in my ears. Mom, Dad, and Zane were all staring at me, waiting. I swallowed hard, forcing my face into something neutral. "What's going on?" Mom's knuckles were white as she gripped her phone. Dad sat stiffly, his jaw clenched. Zane, though, he was grinning. My stomach churned. "Lucas," Dad said, his voice oddly controlled. "Do you have something you want to tell us?" My mind raced. Did they know? They couldn't. It was impossible. But Zane's smirk said otherwise. I forced a shrug. "Not really. Should I?" Mom's breath hitched. She turned her phone around, shoving it in my face. My heart stopped. It was an audio recording. My voice. "So the funds will be distributed through the trust account." David Harrison's voice followed. "Exactly. That keeps your name out of public records." My stomach plummeted. My lawyer call. Zane recorded it. Panic squeezed my lungs. "Where did you get that?" Zane laughed. "You left your door open, genius. I heard everything. Thought I'd record it, for evidence." He leaned forward, enjoying this. "So tell me, Lucas, exactly how much money are you hiding from us?" Mom and Dad's eyes were wild with shock. I took a slow breath. Think. Stay calm. I let out a nervous chuckle, trying to downplay it. "It's not a big deal." Dad's face darkened. "Not a big deal? You're talking about setting up a trust account. That's serious money." Mom's voice was trembling. "Lucas, tell us the truth." Zane's grin widened. "Let me guess. The winning lottery ticket that no one has claimed yet? The one from the same store where you love to buy your snacks?" I said nothing. Because what could I say? Their eyes widened in realization. "Oh my God," Mom whispered, covering her mouth. Dad stood up so fast the chair scraped against the floor. "You won the damn lottery." I clenched my fists. Zane burst into laughter. "Dude, you're a millionaire." He stepped closer, his tone turning dangerous. "And you weren't even gonna tell us?" The next hour was a disaster. Dad paced the room, running his hands through his thinning hair. "You should have told us immediately, Lucas. Do you have any idea what kind of responsibility this is?" Mom kept shaking her head. "We're your family. Families share." Zane? He just watched, smirking, like he'd won, like he had me trapped. I needed to shut this down now. I folded my arms. "It's my money." Dad stopped pacing. His eyes snapped to mine. "No," he said, his voice low, dangerous. "You're 18. You live under our roof. This money, it belongs to all of us." My blood turned to ice. Zane clicked his tongue. "Oh, come on, Lucas. Don't be selfish. Look at what Mom and Dad have done for you. They fed you, clothed you, and now you're just going to run off and leave us behind?" His words stung. Not because he was right, but because I knew this was exactly what they would do. I exhaled sharply. "You mean like how you got a brand new car while I got a thrift store jacket?" Dad's jaw tightened. "That's different." "How?" My voice rose. "How is it different?" "You're acting ungrateful," Mom snapped, her eyes wet. "We raised you. We sacrificed for you. Don't you think you owe us something?" I clenched my teeth. "I bought that ticket with my own money." Dad's eyes flashed. "And who gave you money to live?" "Us." The air was thick, suffocating. I was drowning in their expectations. Then Zane spoke again. His voice was mockingly casual. "You know, if we knew the ticket was yours, other people might figure it out too." My stomach twisted. He was threatening me. If I didn't give them a cut, he'd tell everyone, the media, our extended family, maybe even some random dude on TikTok. Zane would ruin my life. I forced myself to breathe. I needed to get out of this house. Fast. I grabbed my phone and walked toward the stairs. Dad's voice snapped through the air. "Where? Do you think you're going?" I turned. "To get some air. You're not leaving this house until we figure this out." I let out a bitter laugh. "Figure what out? How to spend my money?" Silence. Then Mom softened her voice. "Lucas, sweetheart, just let us help. This is a huge responsibility. Let's sit down together and make a plan." A plan. A plan that wouldn't include me. "No," I said firmly. "I already have a plan." Dad's face darkened. "Don't be stupid, Lucas. We're your family. You can't just keep this from us." Zane stepped in closer. "Yeah, bro. I mean, if you won't share, I might accidentally tell the wrong people." His meaning was clear. Give them money, or lose everything. My hands shook with rage. For years they ignored me, left me in the background, treated me like an afterthought, and now that I had something valuable, they wanted a piece of me. No, no more. I turned on my heel and walked upstairs, slamming my door shut. I locked it. Then I grabbed my duffel bag and started packing clothes, my laptop, the essentials, and the lottery ticket. I needed to disappear. The next morning, I woke up before dawn. I crept downstairs, my duffel bag slung over my shoulder. The house was silent. I left a note on the kitchen counter. I'm done. Don't contact me. Then I walked out, got into Dad's old Chevy Malibu, and drove away. The sun was barely rising as I sped down the highway, gripping the wheel like it was the only thing holding me together. I had done it. I had left. The duffel bag sat in the passenger seat. My entire life packed into one bag. Clothes, my laptop, and most importantly, the winning lottery ticket. No more Zane. No more guilt trips. No more being the forgotten twin. I was free, or at least I thought I was, because less than an hour into my escape, my phone exploded with notifications. Missed calls, texts, voicemails from Mom, Dad, even some from Zane. I ignored them at first. Then one text from Zane made my blood turn to ice. You really thought you could just leave? Think again. A second later, another message popped up. A screenshot. I nearly swerved off the road when I saw it. It was a social media post. From Zane. Guess who just ran away with a secret lottery ticket? My twin brother Lucas. Keep an eye out for him. Bet. He's feeling real lucky. Lotto scammer. Family first. My stomach dropped. He exposed me to everyone. I pulled into an empty gas station lot, hands shaking. The post already had hundreds of shares. Comments flooded in. Wait, is this real? Dude, did he really win the 61 mil? LMAO. His own brother sold him out. Savage. I scrolled, my mind racing. It wasn't just our town seeing this. It was going viral. Reporters would start digging. The lottery officials would find out. And worse, scammers, thieves, people who would come after me just to get a piece of the money. Zane hadn't just ruined my escape, he had made me a target. I clenched my teeth, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. He wanted to play. Dirty? Fine. Two could play this game. I drove straight to the city, my plan forming with every mile. First stop? My lawyer's office. David Harrison looked surprised to see me again so soon. Lucas? I walked straight to his desk, dropping my duffel bag into the chair. I need to finalize the trust, now. He raised an eyebrow but nodded. All right, the claim is already being processed. The funds will be secured through the trust in... No. I cut him off, my voice sharp. Faster. Something in my expression must have told him not to argue. He straightened. I can make a few calls. I exhaled. And one more thing. I need a private investigator. Someone who can dig up dirt on people. David paused. You're planning something, aren't you? I didn't answer. Because Zane made this personal. It was time to ruin him. A few hours later, I sat in a dimly lit diner, tapping my fingers against the cracked linoleum table. Across from me sat Alan Carter, a retired detective turned PI. He was in his late 40s, gray stubble, sharp eyes. The kind of guy who had seen everything. I slid a photo of Zane across the table. I need you to dig up whatever you can on him. Alan glanced at the photo, then at me. Family troubles? You have no idea. He shrugged. All right, I'll see what I can find. I handed him a thick envelope of cash. And I need results fast. That night, I checked into a motel under a fake name. Every time a car passed outside, my heart jumped. I wasn't just running anymore, I was hunting. I scrolled through my phone, watching as Zane's post blew up. The internet loved drama, and my betrayal story was spreading like wildfire. Then, at exactly 2:14 a.m., my phone buzzed. A message from Alan. Got something. Meet me in the morning. I stared at the screen, my pulse pounding. Whatever he had found, it was going to change everything. By the time the sun rose, I was already in my car, parked outside a rundown cafe on the outskirts of the city. The Air smelled like burnt coffee and desperation, but I wasn't here for breakfast. I was here for revenge. At 7:05 a.m., Alan Carter slid into the booth across from me, dropping a thick folder onto the table. His eyes flicked to me, measuring. "You're gonna want to see this." I opened the folder, flipping through the pages. Bank statements, credit card receipts, screenshots of private messages. And then I saw it, a fraudulent bank transfer from our parents' account, straight to Zane. For $24,000, I frowned. "What's this?" Alan smirked. That's your brother's dirty little secret. He's been skimming money from your parents for over a year. Fake invoices, fake charges, even a bogus school expense fund. Your folks think they're paying for his college prep. My stomach twisted. Zane wasn't just a liar. He was stealing from his own parents. And the best part? There were text messages, too. I scrolled through them, my hands shaking. Zane. "Bro, they don't even check the accounts. I just move stuff around, make it look like fees and insurance. Easy." Friend. "Damn. Dude, what if they find out?" Zane. "They won't. My dad's too busy bragging about me, and my mom still thinks I'm perfect. I could probably steal their whole savings, and they'd still think I'm the golden child." I exhaled sharply. Zane had no idea what was coming. By noon, I was sitting in a quiet parking lot, phone in hand. I hit record. I read the messages out loud, every single one. Then I flipped the camera to my face. "Hey, Zane," I said, my voice steady. Too steady. "Since you love making things public, let's return the favor." I attached the screenshots, the bank records, and his cocky texts. Then I hit post. It was live, and the world was about to tear him apart. I drove into town, my phone buzzing nonstop. Zane's post about me? Gone. He had deleted it within an hour of mine going up, but it didn't matter. The damage was done. People were talking. Comment after comment flooded in. Wait, so Zane was stealing from his own parents? LMAO, he tried to ruin his brother, but played himself. Tell me why I'm not even surprised. He always gave off shady vibes. I scrolled further, barely suppressing a grin. And then, the best comment of all. Mom. "Zane, come home, now." By the time I pulled up to my parents' house, the front door was already open. Inside? Chaos. Mom was standing in the middle of the living room, phone in hand, tears streaming down her face. Dad was pacing, red-faced, veins bulging. And Zane was cornered. For the first time in his life, he wasn't smirking. "You stole from us?" Mom's voice cracked. "Your own family?" Zane stammered. Mom, no, it's not like that." Dad slammed his fist on the table. $12,000, Zane, and you have the audacity to go after Lucas?" Zane's eyes flicked. To me, burning with pure hatred. "You set me up," he hissed. I folded my arms, tilting my head. "No, Zane, you set yourself up." Mom turned to me, tears in her eyes. "Lucas, sweetheart, I didn't know." I sighed, shaking my head. It was too late for this. "I know, Mom. You never do." Silence. Then Dad spoke, voice low, dangerous. "You're out, Zane." Zane's head snapped up. "What? No." Dad's voice was like steel. "Pack your things. You're out of this house." Zane froze, his golden boy world falling apart in real time. He turned to Mom, desperate. "Mom, please, tell him." Mom just shook her head, tears streaming down her face. And that's when Zane knew. It was over. An hour later, he was gone. His car pulled out of the driveway, his tires screeching against the pavement. For the first time in my entire life, I wasn't standing in Zane's shadow. I wasn't the forgotten one. I was free. I didn't stay long. That night, I packed my things, hugged my mom goodbye, and walked out the front door. I had a new life waiting for me, a life where I didn't have to fight for scraps, a life on my terms. As I climbed into my car, my phone buzzed one last time, a message from David Harrison. "The funds have cleared. The trust is secure." "Congratulations, Lucas. You're officially a multimillionaire." I stared at the screen, exhaling. Then I turned on the ignition and drove. Off into the night, for the first time ever, my future belonged to me. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought, or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.